Hey everybody, this is Devin with Homeschool House Calls. I am your admin here in your group, and my website is homeschoolhousecalls.com. And today we're going to talk about grading. Um, this is a continuation of what we talked last time. I'm going to go over what I talked about first, and then we'll go through the new stuff. So anyway, so we were talking about how do we grade our homeschoolers? How do we assign a grade? And I think my first thing that I want you to remember is to don't overthink it. Don't stress over it. A lot of times we make it this big scary thing, and it doesn't have to be. Now, before high school, I usually only use what tests are included in the work, and I tend to grade on attitude and if they're doing their schoolwork with a happy heart. But high school, it gets a little bit more difficult. You want to build a transcript, you want to have stuff there to put that shows your students' work. So when you're assessing how your student is doing. There's several ways. We talked about last week. You can have a checklist, and I do that with my littles. You can do that with your high schoolers. You could have a list of what you want them to accomplish for that year, and you can go off that checklist. And did they accomplish it? Did they not? You can assign points to it, whatever you want. Most of the time, when we think of grading, we're thinking of the point system that percentages that we used when we were in school. But you don't have to always do that. So you can do checklists. You can do rubrics, which is simply kind of like, like when you go to Walmart and you get a survey afterwards after you've bought stuff and they say, how did we do our job? Scale, put this on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being we did great, 0 being this was horrible. That's called a rubrics. So those are two ways you can grade. I think they cause a lot of thinking. I like checklists better. I mean, you have to write up what you want. Then, what we're talking tonight, we're talking about percentages. Again, don't overthink it. It's as simple as you have 20 questions on the exam or the review or whatever. You assign, let's say you have 20 questions, you get 15 out of 20 right. You divide it by 20, you add them up, divide it by 20, whatever your thing is, and there's your grade. But really, when it comes to grading, don't overthink it because you're the mama. And most of the time, well, you're the teacher. Most of the time, no one's going to come behind you and look and see how you scored it. Does that mean you're lying and you're giving them an A when they don't deserve it? No. But don't overthink it and don't overstress it. It is not rocket science. Grades tend to be the ones that cause the most stress trying to assign that, but really it's not a thing. You can use review. Like if you buy a textbook at Goodwill and there are no test books, because I had somebody ask this week, how do I assign a test? Should I go buy a textbook? Not necessarily. If you buy textbooks like Goodwill, there's reviews. You can grade those reviews as if they're tests. You don't even have to give a test. You just grade the reviews and then you average them out for the year. I see a question. How are you? I don't know who it is. It says Facebook user, but hey, it's good to see you. So, I mean, you can make a check. I know I'm repeating this because people are popping on. I tend to get fast, and next thing you know, I have talked for 5 minutes and I'm done. But if you have grade questions, you can ask, and we can. I have time today. You can ask questions in the comments, and I can answer anything about grades. Um, but really, take a deep breath. You don't have to know all the little things with grading. We have awesome mamas across the groups who can tell you how they handle it and how they assign grades. But you know, my kids, most of the before high school will not even have a test kit with their curriculum. It's very rare now, especially with the homeschool friendly curriculum. Like, you can see right here, this is phonics. She has worksheets, but there's no test. So I have to grade what's there. And I grade Did she work with a happy heart? Did she remember the sounds at the end of the lesson? And that's basically satisfactory or unsatisfactory. So at the end of the year, how do I assign something? Well, for me, I would give an A for satisfactory if everything was satisfactory, and if I would give a U unsatisfactory if she didn't. But I don't know about other states, but where I am, I'm not turning in my grades to anybody. Those are for me. I worry about high school. High school, I want some kind of transcript so that when they go to college, it doesn't look like their mama was crazy. But and high school will have tests and they're not hard to grade. I mean, I'm the mama that keeps it simple. You know how you were in school and you would have, the report, the research paper is going to be 30% of your grade. I never did that with my high schoolers. I kept it straight. Everything counted the same. Easy for me, easy for them. I use Susan Hales. You know, she's one of your amens in the group, and she will. You know, she's usually with me with some work when we do the workshops with guests, but she has a record keeping system. You can set all that up and it calculates it for you. So that's an easy way to do it. I'm using that now. She gifted that to me and it's fabulous. It's fabulous enough that I send everybody back to her now. I used to give tons and tons of options with grading. Now I'm like, just, save yourself some time. Go use Susan because it's just it does it itself. I don't have to think. I don't have to calculate anything in my head. I mean, I used to make transcripts for families, and you can get a transcript cheaper from Susan than from me. So so now I don't do it. I just send them to Susan. Transcripts were not my favorite thing to do. I didn't it wasn't my favorite, but it's okay. You can make a transcript yourself. I can tell you how, but really, I'm like, save yourself the time and and the heartache. That's what I made my sons in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I think it took 30 minutes, and that's only because I had never used the program before. With my girl, it was 20. So it took me almost no time. I had all my stuff there listed, and I just put it all through. But if you have questions about how to do grading, you can post them. I'm here. But so checklist, you can do a checklist. For my littles, I like a checklist. I sometimes I will pick up like typical World Book study. It's called the Typical Course of Study by World Book. World Book's Typical Course of Study. They have a checklist for like preschool, first grade, all the way up through 12th grade, and you can use that as a grading. You're just going to assign. I mean, you're going to check it, and when they're done, and that's how a lot of homeschoolers are. It's like with Lacey, my goal is for her to read fluently, and I don't really worry over a percentage or a letter grade. I'm just working on getting her there, and I reevaluate constantly. With Rubik's, that would be an easy one to do with a research paper. Did they, let's say, did they stay on topic? Did they supply, whatever you have with research papers? I don't have anybody writing research papers right now, but so there's lots of ways you can do that. I don't stress over it too much. I use what I've got. If they use a curriculum with grades, right now the girls are using Mia Prep and they get lots of test assessments. And so I'll average those at the end of the year and make a grade. In fact, I've got to catch up with adding those in. Well, actually, I don't have to because I use Susan's stuff. I don't have to add it. I just have to put it in the program. But let's see. So overall, don't overthink it. Don't stress yourself out. Find what works for you. And if you try one thing and say, "Oh, I hate grading this way," there's other ways to do it. Just don't overthink it. Um, but I do think that parents need to have some type of grading. You need something down. We had a big discussion about this in our local group, about having something. Not because, legally we're not required, we're in where we live, but if there's a problem, if say you die, your husband dies, there's a divorce, there's something going on that you've got to put your children in a private or public school, they like to tick their boxes. So don't overthink it, but have something down so that people have something to go off of. Grade them any way you want to. Checklist, rubrics, percentages, but have something. It's just for the benefit of the child. And I mean, I'm a pro freedom person. I mean, Alabama has wonderful freedoms and I appreciate them. But I also, now that I'm getting older, I look and I'm like, I see the benefit of having something. It's just being a good mama. It's just, that's a good mama, is to have something down for your kids if something happens. It happens. Since the big C, the thing that we can't name, I've had several families where parents have died and children have had to go back to the public school because either the mom or the dad has to work and things happen. And it's not that the parents were not teaching, it's just grades were not written down. And it becomes very stressful because school systems don't understand that. They see things in black and white. And so it's just better to have something there. Grade. I mean, come up with your system for your family, whether you're doing, whatever way you decide how to grade your children, and be consistent and have that down. Have a plan, write that down, because that's one thing we came up with. One of the things is we had a family who the mom died. They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't know what the curriculum was. They didn't know my name. They didn't know that they could contact me. So it's just being a responsible parent. Grading's not a bad thing. It's not an overwhelming. Don't let it overwhelm you. Don't overthink it, but have something. And if you need me, you can sign up for my one-on-one. I have free consulting that we tape it for for the YouTube channel. If your comfort level is that big, we can work together on making a plan. Or I have paid, and actually I'm actually reduced it this month, next 2 months, because I've had this conversation come up a lot. It will be $20 for an hour. I think it's an hour, either maybe 45 minutes. I think I juggled that. So $20, I will help you make your plan. I'm like, you'll get my time, you're on my calendar. I'll post it above. I know, and see, that's the thing. I mean, and I live in Alabama. We have very few rules, and I have always been very pro freedom. But I don't know if it's getting older or it's just the climate we're in. I feel like it's better to have something. It's not hard. Don't, I mean, yeah, once a week. Look, and give yourself treats when you do it. Just like you reward your kids when they do a great job, get a special chocolate or coffee. Or you can, if you have somebody to watch the kids, go to the coffee house with your computer. Most of the time they have Wi-Fi. Sit there, get your grading done, drink a coffee. So reward yourself for doing your doing your chores. That's how I am. I'm like, think coffee day. I even thought about doing a mama online thing so that we could all sit there and do our grading together. And even though we don't have to talk to each other, it's just like, I don't know. Sometime what the term, it's an ADD thing. It's called body doubling. My girls laugh all the time and say that I need a body double because I'll be doing something and I'll want them to just sit in the room with me. So it's like a body doubling. But the coffee house is much nicer for that because see, there are all those people are around, walking around. So there's somebody there, and you can buy yourself a coffee. So reward that. But don't make it, yeah, don't make it over don't make it overly big in your mind. And a lot of times that's what we do as moms, is we make it, and it's not fun. See, that's good. We could check boxes and swap ideas and mark grades down for sure. So I'm like, you can make it as easy or as hard. If y'all want me to set up a mama date one day, let me know. I'm happy to do that. I've thought about doing something like a coffee house or coffee break or something like that, or do something fun to make it fun, because I mean, I'm the first to say I don't like the grunt work. I mean, it's not fun. It's more fun to sit in the living room at the table and talk math or talk whatever subject we're doing. That's more fun than actually marking grades. Grading is never fun, but if we find ways to do it, coffee, special chocolate, coffee house. I love the idea of removing myself from the situation because my house, I have 7 people live in my house, and it is never calm and it is never quiet. And they like to they find captive audience, and they like to sit and talk to you when you don't need them to talk to you. It's very sad. I love my girls. I love to talk to them, but that would be that would be awesome. Yeah. Templates, journals. I'm actually working on I've been working on my phonics club. Y'all know I've got phonics club going on. And I have a huge number of signups. I am so pleased. I mean, we have a huge group, and I'm loading the intro. It's gotten a little slower. I've had several outside things going on. Locally, we have graduation. I'm actually working on getting the diplomas printed and ready to go and all that all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, cry, cry, cry. They're all graduating. We have a big group this year. And so I've had a lot of little things that keep me from what I'm wanting to do. But I'm making the lesson plan template that people can grab and download. And I'll give it to y'all too when I get it done. But it's all cute. I have a little avocado that has eyes and it's looking over something, and it's so cute. But it's a lot of fun. I'm learning how to make worksheets, so I'm like stretching myself. So maybe I could make some templates or something. I'm learning how to do things. So it's exciting. But anyway, so I did this workshop this morning instead of doing it tonight because I have got meetings tonight. But I have more people popping on than I usually do. So if y'all want to move it toward the morning or early afternoon, y'all let me know. We can always move it and move it around. It's good for me. But again, I'm going to re-add. Don't overthink it. Don't make it bigger than what it has to be. You don't have to do percentages if you don't like that kind of stuff. You can do checklist or Rubik's. There are ways to do it. Rubik's, again, that's like those Walmart surveys where they're saying, how well did we do our job, 1 through 10? You don't have to even overthink that. But even percentages, don't overthink it. You don't have to get fancy and have, oh, this is going to be 30% of the grade. This is going to be 20% of the grade. Don't overthink it. I do it equal. Everything's equal no matter what I assign because I hate math. I hate math. So I don't want to do it any more than I have to. Or use Susan Hale's stuff, which it calculates it for you. And you don't have to think about it. So that even better. But I'm going to let y'all go. I enjoyed talking with y'all today. I will see y'all soon. I will see Candace on Friday. But y'all have a great afternoon. Have a great night. And I'll see you soon. And let me know what you want to hear next week, because I'm down on, I'm getting ready to start collecting more subjects. Y'all let me know.